1.18 is right around the corner, so today we're gonna cover 24 of the biggest features coming to the new update. For number 1, there's a big change to how mobs spawn in certain lighting. In older updates, if you didn't have enough torches on the ground, mobs could spawn in between them where there's not enough light. But now, mobs can only spawn at light level 0, which means if you have even a little bit of torchlight around your base, you're most likely gonna be safe from all those evil mobs. So more than likely, you won't see creepers too often around your base. That is just amazing. For number 2, we're talking about how low the new caves can go. We can now explore all the way down to Y -59. Like all these caves down here, this is like Y -40, maybe Y -50 down here. So there is just so many more caves to explore, which is amazing, obviously. And speaking of caves, for number 3, we're talking about Lush Caves, one of the new cave biomes. And it's pretty self-explanatory. There's an easy way to get moss, glowberries, all these azaleas. Oh, and also there's tons of clay in here, so this is an easy way to get all your mossy blocks and your clay blocks. And right next door, another kind of cave is a dripstone cave. These probably look the coolest because it's just a giant, like, spiky ceiling or spiky floor. It just looks epic. Also, who doesn't love dripstone? This is a great way to farm that stuff up. Also, side note, look how cool the cave generation is. It's just so tall and amazing. Next up, we gotta talk about one of the coolest blocks you can find in a cave like this. For the first time in survival, we can get spore blossoms. These things are epic. They're these giant hanging flowers, and if you have particles on, they emit this like cool green, like naturey particle effect. It's amazing. In fact, let's test it. Like, look at this. Look at all the green particles. It's so sick. For number 6, we're talking about underwater aquifers. So basically, in these big caves, you can occasionally find giant underground lakes, which is just cool looking. Also, this is a great place to find glow squids. If you want some glow ink sacs, this is the place. As I ascend out of the caves, the next big thing is new music. Now, most of these new songs can be found in survival in the new sub-biomes. I'll get back to those later. But there also is one new song that can be found in a music disc in dungeons. Side note, look at this cave. This is amazing. But anyways, the disc is called Other Side, and let's listen to it. That's good stuff. At number 9, probably the most notable change in the game is the gigantic new mountains. Also, not part of the video, but there's calcite deposits now, apparently. That's new to me, but cool. And here's where we segue into the new sub-biomes. In these giant mountains, there are things called sub-biomes, which basically are like little tiny parts of the mountain that look different. So first off, there's meadows, which basically means there's grass and a lot of flowers. And then we have groves, which is like trees on the side of a mountain, like this area right here. Of course, then we have snowy slopes and all different variations of peaks, like lofty peaks, jagged peaks, etc. So you get the point. Mountains are awesome now. Now for number 11, going back underground, they have ore veins now. Now realistically, this might be kind of hard to find because they're super rare, unless this is one right here. Oh, no, it's not. Basically, ore veins are a giant, like, snake-like structure of the same ore going just through caves and just through the ground. And if you can find one, you can get literally thousands of the same ore. Like, it is incredibly overpowered, but they are really, really rare. So if you're lucky, yeah, ore veins. Now, something else I can't actually find easily, but does exist in the game, are fossils. And if you've ever found a fossil before, you might know they're usually covered in coal like this. But the big change is now they'll be covered in diamond ore. And this is amazing. So if you ever find a fossil, it's like finding buried treasure. Because normally, who cares? Bones, coal, that's easy to get. But diamonds, well, also easy to get, but less easy to get. I don't know, I think it's really cool though. That's a shame. Now for number 13, this will take an entire video to explain how this exactly works, but long story short, there is a new distribution of ores. So that means there'll be specific hotspots for, you know, your Y level for where you can find certain kinds of ores. If you want a really quick breakdown, iron still spawns like everywhere, but diamonds, lapis, and redstone really are only in the negatives now, like ish. Now, speaking of negative y, as you might know, in old worlds, y would stop down at like 0. There'd be a big level of bedrock at y0. So in your old worlds, you'd think you couldn't go down this low. But they actually changed all your old bedrock to deep slate. So down here is my mine in survival. Normally, this would be like around the lowest point, but if I keep mining down, ow, not that! Cut, cut, cut! Okay, down here, if I keep mining down, eventually I'll find deep slate, which I didn't previously have. So as you can see, you can now dig really far underneath in your old world. Oh my goodness, no kidding. I cannot wait to play this in survival for real. Oh my goodness. For number 15, we have 4 new achievements, and I'll read them right here for you. We have fall from the top of the overworld to the bottom, ride a strider in lava in the overworld for 50 blocks, play music with a jukebox in a meadow biome, and trade with a villager at build height limit. That is a weird one. Number 16 is one of the coolest ones for performance. There is a new slider called simulation distance. Basically, render distance is how far you can see, you know, in the distance. Simulation distance is how far things will be going on and like, you know, alive in the distance. So for example, if this is on only 5 chunks, but the render distance is up to like 15 chunks, if I'm far enough away, I can actually see mobs that aren't alive anymore. So they'll come alive when I get back over there. But if I'm outside the simulation distance, their AI will just kind of pause and they won't do anything. Which, by the way, is a very big deal for FPS. If things are alive and their AI is working, that causes lag. So yeah, very helpful for me and probably you too. Number 17 is small but very helpful, and that is copper drops more pieces of copper when you mine it. But as you guys might know, this stuff is not easy to get right now in survival mode, so this is a big game changer for copper fans. Remember earlier how I told you that Lush Caves have those clay pits in them now? Well, this is now the only place where axolotls can spawn. They can no longer spawn up in the ocean, they can't spawn in lakes, they only spawn above clay in Lush Caves. Which is pretty cool, because it's kind of like the axolotl's own biome. Side note, why is this water half swampy and half clear? God, I hate pollution. Number 19 is a weird one. Baby villagers won't get attacked by any of the pillager family mobs. I don't know if Mojang just has like a big heart or something, but doesn't really make a lot of sense. Baby, you're safe, chill. They changed the coding, dog. Not safe for me though. For number 20, horses and donkeys will follow you if you have a golden apple or golden carrot in your hand. Can you guys eat these? Oh, you can? Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at me, the Minecraft noob. I didn't know that. And likewise, llamas follow you if you're holding hay. I'll be honest, I don't know if this was a thing before, but I assume not. So I guess this is helpful if you want to move, you know, these horse mobs. If you don't care about that, then you're worthless. Oh, there's the baby again. Now, funny coincidence, number 22 is actually right next to me. Beaches. Beaches are much, much, much bigger now. It's kind of hard to tell because this is a desert biome, but they have the beaches much wider. There's way more sand. Hold on, I'll find a better example. Okay, here's a decent example. This is clearly not a beachy area, but where there's water, there's a big chunk of sand. And this actually is a smaller beach from what I've seen, so there's bigger beaches, trust me. For number 23, we're talking about the weather cycle. If you didn't know, when you sleep in a bed, it would reset the weather cycle. So let's say it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but if I go sleep right now, normally it would stop it, all right? It means the rain's gonna be pushed off to another day in the future. But they changed that, so unless it's already raining, the weather cycle won't reset. So that means more rain, more thunderstorms, and more lightning for your world. Which for some of you might hate that, for me, it is so peaceful. And finally, for number 24, there are no more lakes. There's no more of those little small water holes in the middle of nowhere. No more. All the lakes are either underwater, or they're oceans, or they're rivers. There's no more little tiny holes of water. Oh, that is horrible timing. No, wait, this is like an underwater lake. Underwater lakes are still a thing, but overwater? On land lakes are gone. Well, guys, those are 24 new things coming to 1.18. I can't wait personally. Hopefully, it's not going to be too laggy because there is a lot of new stuff, but overall, it's going to be so much fun. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. So until then, goodbye.